what has to come out. But you realize whenever you want to do any transformation or any radical change, nothing moves without leadership. And that leadership starts from political leadership. I want to take an example of the social health insurance. When we started talking about social health insurance and transforming the country many years ago, when we had the former president, Kibaki, and it was so-called Gilu Bill. That bill went and was passed in parliament and died there. It took us another 10 years. So before the politics decides that this is the way to go, and that one of the things that I think that the health sector succeeded in is making sure that this was an agenda of all the parties which were coming in. So the first is the top leadership in political, and you have seen how you can pass bills and make them work within a short time if all the political leadership is in it. Now, coming back to Kisumu, where I come from, my governor, Professor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o, has been a strong believer in social democracy. And we can see when he became governor, this is the first thing that he put in the manifesto, that one, we must be able to take care of the indigents and everybody must get equal health care. Two, we must be able to digitize our systems. Now, he started all the way from the community health all the way upwards. And when we started doing this, it looked like a very expensive thing, and I'll take a very short time, that we asked the county assembly to pass a 130 million, which is almost 30% of the recurrent budget, to digitize community health systems. Now, that would never have passed through without political leadership. So the first agenda, and I think I'll end there, is if the political leadership decides that is the way to go, the whole system gets aligned, the whole technical team gets aligned, and resources are gotten to make sure that things work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Angeline, just to build up on what Dr. Ganda has done and has said, you have your experience from Nandi County, you have heard what Kisumu County has been doing, and there's a critical role of political leadership. Share with us your experience about Nandi County.
Thank you. Leadership is critical, as Dr. Kand has alluded. In Nandi County, we've just begun the process of digitization of health services. We started in April by mapping out the service points to determine how much resources we needed in terms of the digital gadgets that we needed. We also needed to sensitize our health workers, and political goodwill is key because you need everyone on board, even including the members of the assembly. They are the ones who pass our budgets in terms of the expenditures. So without which we may not be able to achieve what we desire. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for that. Dr. Brian, Rufa is one of the private hospitals, and you know private and faith-based hospitals play an integral role in delivery of healthcare. Secondly, is that you have been in different spaces whereby you have been advocating for a lot, especially in the healthcare space, change, digitization, issues of payment, share reimbursements and such. You are here with the decision makers, and I can see most of them in the room. First, it's to tell us your experience as private hospitals through this digitization agenda. And secondly, your proposed areas of improvement based on your experience as Rufa. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Thuranira, and thank you for this invitation. Now, as a representative of private healthcare facilities, we appreciate the change that has come through digital transformation, and we think that it is one of the most fundamental changes that has happened in the Kenyan healthcare space since independence. So we welcome it. We are looking forward to be part of it. But you ask me what has been our experience. So first, we are frontline healthcare workers. We deal with the SHA provider portal every day. We also interact with the registries daily. We interact with the HIE every day. And therefore, we have seen its successes and challenges firsthand. Now, let me give some of the lessons we have had. Number one, we discover that stability comes first. We think that no matter what kind of good rules or workflows you have, when the system is unstable, then the rules and workflows don't matter. So for instance, and we have been very vocal about things like OTP delays. We have been vocal about things like how they disrupt service delivery. Now, the other one is, another lesson we have picked up is predictability is as important as stability. So what do I mean? I mean that, for example, when we have a change in the rules, for example, eligibility, pre-authorization workflows, that kind of, to use a term, policy ambush, we need to make sure that we don't have policy ambush and we have a system that is predictable. Thirdly, we have learned that integration is very important. Let me explain, and I'm happy that Nandi County is on the digitization journey. You know, Kisumu is leading, Murang'a has done a very good job. But as it is now, every single provider in the country, and I'm hoping, and I can see it's going to change just based on what I have seen from DHA, but every single provider in the country, whether public, private, faith-based, any hospital today is operating on 2 different platforms. So there is a lot of duplication and a lot of opportunity for error. So this is what happens. You see patients on one platform, maybe your HMIs, and when you come to dealing with claims, you then transfer and start working on a different platform. This has generated a lot of challenges. And I'm hoping that by the time other counties digitize, we should be in a place where you can work on one platform and be able to do all your claims, but also be able to see clinical workflows, inventory management, all that. Lastly, on this issue is support gaps. Now, one of our experiences has been that when you have an issue as a provider, do you talk to SHA? Do you talk to DHA? Do you look for the vendor? Who do you find? So we think that the future is a unified help desk that allows providers to get help at one go. So that if I need an issue to be addressed by DHA or by SHA, from a provider point of view, I should not know who I am dealing with. I should just have one single interface.
Thank you, Dr. Lishanga. Dr. Kariuki, KMPDC plays a critical role in the delivery of healthcare. You represent the regulators in this panel discussion. So you register facilities, you basically empanel facilities, and then you also register healthcare workers and maintain a clean register of them. How has that role been achieved, and what interfaces have you had with the Digital Health Agency and all other intergovernmental agencies in the delivery of that service?
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for the invitation. I think in the recent past, we've seen a lot of potential in ensuring that we do integrate our systems between the various regulators and the various agencies within government and all stakeholders in the health sector, whether public, private, private for-profit, private not-for-profit, to ensure that services reach the people in a more organized manner. I think there has previously been quite a lot of silo, separate entities holding separate data. And we've just realized that we do hold quite a lot of information that we have even previously not been using. But now it's becoming more useful to ensure that we are able to provide services as should be given. And I think it also brings out the fact that there's still a lot of potential to harness more from what we already have as we collaborate towards ensuring that we achieve the vision that we have intended.
Yeah. Thank you. Dr. Moi, welcome to this panel. You are part of the team that came up with this great agenda. Take 2 or 3 minutes to explain to us what this digitization agenda looks like, and for Kenyans to understand where we started and where this agenda is headed to.
Thank you very much. I think the issue of digitization in the current era is almost self-explanatory. But I think the key important thing is the fact that looking at how healthcare systems have operated over time, we have had silo operations where, one facility operates somewhere in a remote area without any way of communicating with the other healthcare system. And therefore, the digital superhighway became an important component as an enabler of good service provision, quality access, the issue of people being able to pay for it, and also, availability of the same within the villages. And I think there are critical components that we cannot forget within this digital superhighway. One, the ability of people to identify themselves uniquely and to seek care within the facilities which are closer to them. The second thing was the issue of telemedicine, which became an extremely critical component in enabling even those in the remote areas to access quality care, even if the human resource challenge still persists, because it takes time to build up a human resource that, of course, will be available within all the physical locations of our facilities. The important thing that we cannot forget is the issue of the loss of our commodities that the country has had over time. So in the past,
So welcome, Waziri, to our panel discussion. We were answering questions from the panel. We are getting responses from the questions we have from the panel. So welcome, Waziri. So Dr. Mwai, I will paraphrase the question so that Waziri joins and understands. So you are telling us a brief about the digital superhighway agenda, where it's headed. With that, you can also answer the question on supply chain. What is the role of digitization in supply chain and commodity security and availability of commodities, especially against a backdrop of, it has been reported that there has been having commodity expiries and such. Thank you.
Thank you. So the highlight I was giving was the fact that when the healthcare system was disjointed and no one was able to see what is happening in one corner of the healthcare system, and inability to also track, the service delivery across facilities, then we used to have people come from a facility that is down there. They have to carry a file to go to another hospital after a referral. And if you don't get that referral, you don't get the file, then you go and start from zero in the new facility that you have gone to. So with the shared health record that was mentioned earlier here, this problem became solved. We also have had a problem in the commodities that we have in market. We have a lot of fake commodities that have not actually licensed to be in the market. But without digitization, you don't have a way of authenticating these commodities. And therefore, when you look at the digital superhighway, the component on track and trace of commodities, as well as the national logistic management system, it enables you to see as a policymaker, be it as a county, as a governor, be it at the Ministry of Health, the leadership there, be it at the executive, it is possible to see what are the stock levels of commodities that we have across all our facilities. And more so with good integration, what DHA is trying to achieve is to have both visibility for public, private, and faith-based. So the key essence of digitization is to unlock access, improve equity, so that those who have been left behind actually can access services. The marginalized can also be accessed. We get efficient way of delivering services to the people who require those services more. And this is the spirit that have enabled the birth of the Digital Health Agency, a new agency that is unique in its own way, and one of its type actually in the world, where we have very few countries that have been able to roll out a specific agency to handle the health digitization, because health is key for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mwai. Dr. Angeline, I'm back to you. In your presentation, you told us that Nandi County had started the digitalization journey. You told us that you have already done the facility assessments and trainings have begun. Just tell us the situation currently in the county, how far you are in that process, what have you done, and what challenges have you experienced? Thank you.
Thank you. I want to say that Nandi County is a toddler when it comes to digitization. We began in April with the mapping and redistribution of the gadgets. We adopted the Tibabu system, as was advised and supported by national government through DHA. And we began with the primary healthcare facilities. So those are the facilities that are integrated. The level 4 facilities are following suit. Why there was a delay is because of the modules that have to be configured to reflect the services that are delivered in those levels. Our level 5 facility, we are yet to connect to the system. However, I want to appreciate the fact that the key component is ownership of the process, starting from the top leadership of our governor, His Excellency Stephen Sang, because he's the one who launched the digitization of services. And that makes it easy down the chain. And also we sensitize our staff on the importance of this, because without their ownership, they are the champions, they are the implementers of the system. Now, what we've learned in the process is that we have attained about 60% digitization of the primary healthcare facilities, with a dashboard that we are able to see what they are doing every day, the number of patients seen, the number of patients booked for the clinics. We are able to see the number of SHA claims that they are doing. We are also able to note the workload. We are able to see the facilities that have higher workload against the number of staff that they have. And this gives us an opportunity to redistribute the staff, where we find the workload is low, and yet the numbers are relatively higher than other facilities. I also want to say that one key component is knowing your facilities, knowing the needs of the clients and also the health workers, the ability to adapt to digital systems and use them. We found that we have staff who are above 50 years of age, and most of them have challenges. And I think going forward, those counties who are going to adopt digitization, when you go for training, the TOTs, it's important to select the younger staff population who are able to catch up and be able to push the process forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Waziri wa County and Nandi. So, Dr. Ganda, tell us the situation in Kisumu. Building up on what Dr. Angeline has told us, what they have done, 60% of the facilities being digitized. How is it in Kisumu now?
Thank you very much. I think Kisumu is younger yet older. Kisumu started digitization much earlier, and I think almost 40% of our facilities were digitized. But then all those facilities were silo facilities. That means that if you moved from facility A to facility B, you are a new person. You have to start afresh. They register you and get all your data. And so, yes, we were digitized. We had a lot of innovations, but then we did not have that interoperability layer being brought forward, even though we were even using the same system. We were mainly using Kenya EMR system in most of our facilities. We have now activated the Taifa Care system, and we will be now moving into the digital superhighway. The Kenya EMR system is being upgraded into a newer version that can be able to link. We will then be able to discuss on how we can save this data, because once you start generating data, initially, most of our data was in several places because of the partners, and you know the USAID and the US government is transitioning into into a locally run system. And so the DHA will have to provide at one point a repository where all this data will be coming into. Once they have provided that, we will have to change the kind of tablets that we have because we have been paying for the internet. The partners have been paying for the internet, and we have been supplementing this so that we're able to have all-round internet in our facilities. I think coming in with the DHA will allow us now to have internet provided for all those facilities. Despite all this, yes, we still have challenges with internet connectivity in the whole county. I think Kisumu, Homa Bay has better internet than Kisumu. We are at 60%, Homa Bay is at 90%. So we have been able to buy Starlink to boost this internet so that all our facilities are able to get internet. And then we will be all of us together in the digital superhighway as Kenyans and not silos. And I like saying that counties are independent governments, but they are interdependent and work closely with the national government. So as we do our innovations, yes, we are working together with national governments to make us move forward. Thank you.
Thank you for that, and I'm happy that you have become proactive, facing your challenges head on and sorting them out. Dr. Lishenga, what is the status of digitization of the private facilities and FBO, and where can DHA step in to support? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Turanira. I would say, so we did a survey 2 years back on the status of digitization. And what we found out is that for private and faith-based facilities, about 60% of them operate, are digitized. So we still have somewhere between 40% gap. Now, in terms of where DHA can come in to support, my conviction is that we need to move to co-creation and start doing things together. So for instance, one of the things that is very exciting is to see counties like Nandi County, taking up HMIS systems. We need to support private sector and faith-based hospitals to do the same so that they can, and this can happen through validation of existing HMISs within the private and faith-based. So one of the things that DHA can do is, because private sector will operate slightly differently, is to move to an open source kind of arrangement where you validate the HMISs that are out there and find out whether they meet the criteria set out by DHA. Another opportunity is, I think, in incentivizing facilities that do the right thing in terms of digitization. So for example, real-time claim adjudication can help facilities unlock capital. So, and I had Mwai talking about the supply chain. Real-time claim adjudication can help us with unlocking inventory, for example. So we think that working to co-create with private sector is definitely the future for DHA.
Thank you very much. Dr. Kariuki, as a regulator, what is your experience in regulating facilities and regulating healthcare workers, and how can DHA help you sort out all the challenges that you experience, as you give us your parting short remarks?
Thank you. As regulators, we implement government policy through legal frameworks. And so ours is largely to keep minimum, the standards and norms that are expected to be able to provide quality care for the needs of the population. And we do continuously support facilities to be able to maintain the standards or even take them higher than what they have been having. In terms of the health professionals themselves, we also maintain the standards right from the training, then ensure that everyone is registered and licensed to practice within the scope of the training that they had achieved. Okay. For example, when it comes to the health facilities, 2 years ago, we only had about 10% of public facilities voluntarily applying for their annual licenses. But with the reforms that have come, we are currently at 97%. Okay. And the remainder is largely from the investments that they keep making. So there's a lot of work going on.
Thank you very much. Dr. Moy, a quick question. What's the way forward now after this? What's the way forward? You have seen what you have done. You've seen what DHA has done. You have had the challenges from the county governments, challenges from private and faith-based facilities. Give us directions on which way we head after this.
I think the key call is that the DHA is led to work with the counties, and I think this has happened. And the call is for the counties to work with the Digital Health Agency to roll out the digital superhighway, address the issues that are, happening within different counties, unique to them. And I think the ultimate is when we have a complete superhighway where the DHA is running it with critical support from the county governments, and that will give us a successful integrated healthcare system. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Help me thank the panel that joined us. The panel, you may now exit the stage so that we go on to the next part. Thank you very much, Dr. Angeline from Nandi County. Dr. Kanda, thank you very much.